the formal introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the Washington Convention Center here in our beautiful nation's capital of Washington, D.C., as we have a big night of action in store for you, and it's all brought to you by Don King Production and Showtime Championship Boxing. At this time, we present a World Championship attraction coming your way. It is sanctioned by the World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor in attendance York Van Nixon, along with the Washington, D.C. Boxing Commission. Introducing to you now our judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Washington, D.C., Paul Artiste. From Nova Scotia, Hubert Earl. And from Amsterdam, Henk Meyers. Introducing at this time a referee in charge of this bout. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Kenny Chevalier. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with purple trim, originally from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, now fighting out of New York City. He weighed in at the super lightweight limit of 140 pounds even, with a record of 23 wins, 4 losses, and 3 draws. He has 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome tonight's challenger, introducing Pedro Saiz. And his opponent across the ring, presenting the defending champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing multicolored trunks made of the flags of Maryland and Washington, D.C. He is fighting out of Tacoma Park, Maryland, by way of his home of Washington, D.C. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 140 pounds even. His record stands at 43 wins, 2 losses, with 29 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making the first title defense. Please welcome the defending WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the world, known as the Little Big Man, Sharmba. Once again, a referee in charge, Kenny Chevalier, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of championship boxing schedule.
All right, look here, man. This is a championship level you're on. Both you fighters are seasoned professionals, and that's the way I expect you to carry yourself in this fight. I've gone over the instructions in your dressing room and again in the corners. You know what I expect. This is for the WBA Championship of the World. Enough said. Let's touch it up and do this.
Final instructions from Kenny Chevalier out of Bowie, Maryland. Sharmba Mitchell from nearby Tacoma Park, Maryland. 15-0 with 12 knockouts here in the D.C. area. His last fight in this locale in '96, first round knockout. And veteran Pedro Saiz, his last loss, May of '97, versus his biggest name opponent, then number 6 rated Vernon Forrest, a tall 6-foot junior welterweight. Saiz really took a pummeling, dominated by the quicker and stronger Forrest. This is the first fight here in the D.C. area as world champion for Sharmba Mitchell. Here we go. He told us he's dedicating this fight to his stablemate, William Joppy, recently injured in a car accident. Sat down yesterday with a much more relaxed yet still focused Sharmba Mitchell, in contrast to Paris prior to the Rahilou fight. Understandably a little more tense.
You are known as rather a stylish dresser. You have to admit, Sharmba's got it all over. Size and style. Isn't that straight? Is that something completely different you've ever seen? Bobby, have you ever seen anything like that? It's like a window shade.
It's Camacho-esque.
Yes, right. Actor Hesker's invaded our subconscious.
Somewhere in Macho Camacho's closet is a missing pair of trunks.
I'll tell you what, Saiz just got rocked a little bit by a right hook from the champ, and Mitchell came out. He's going to town. He's not just going to box and feel his way around. He wants to make a statement. I believe he wants to make it early in front of the hometown crowd.
And he realizes, as champion now, expectations are higher. He has to win fights like tonight decisively. He said he doesn't want to leave it to the judges. He's looking for the knockout, but he's in no hurry At least he told us he wants to feel Saiz out in the first round, but looks to win by outboxing him.
Also, Zion says this guy comes out in the first 4 rounds to knock you out. After that, it settles down to a fight. In other words, I'm going to last 4 rounds, and then we're going to see. Well, he may not last 4 rounds.
Well, certainly he's not a mover, Ferdy. Saiz is, a shorter fighter, not real long arms, and boy, he just walked into a straight left hand from Mitchell.
Mitchell is southpaw, says he spars with southpaws all the time, likes to fight lefties, can use more tricks like switching, feels it's easier to draw another southpaw in. Saiz says his best punches are the left uppercut, the right hook, and the straight left. Pretty much covers it. It's like saying your best pitch is the fastball, the curve, the slurve, the slider, the changeup, and the knuckleball.
Nothing left.
Sharmba Mitchell right now is teeing off. He's sitting down in his punches, and he's loading up some big bombs. He walked into a nice shot, showed a good chin.
Mitchell always looking to improve his power, throwing more with his shoulders, sitting on his punches rather than throwing off his dancing. More leverage these days.
Oh, nice body shot. Oh.
Well, that just bounced right off his hip.
Sharmba throwing a very, very powerful hook. There it is again.
You see it's a roundhouse left hook to the side, and he means to hurt with that punch.
Yeah, that's one where you're really hacking the tree down with that one. I think Zion has felt his power now. He realizes he's in where the guy can bang.
I've seen tapes of Saiz in the past. Patient, waits for the opening, fights bravely, has the will, but the skill differential, of course, the issue.
Keep it working like that. Keep working like that. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. How you feel? I'll look at that hook off the game a little bit. When the problem is off, just slide around. Just stand right there for it, okay? Yeah, right here. Keep it there, right in space. You didn't like it body shot. You didn't like it body shot. Spit bucket. You didn't like it body shot, okay? Here. There you go, Rocky. Right here, spit. All right. All right, keep doing what you're doing. Keep that pump. Keep worrying about that there. Speed, speed.
Y'all got some towels, y'all gotta wipe that up.
Here, take this out here.
Don't kick it out, wipe it up.
Sharmba Mitchell, a polished, experienced, sharp, slick, fast technician. I think the class of the 140-pound weight division, without question.
Although I'll tell you, him and Phillips will be a heck of a match.
Vince Phillips will be fighting #1 contender Teron Millette on February the 20th. Mitchell knocked out Millette in the first round back in was that 1995 on the Chavez Kamal card.
Nice educated jab by Sharmba to set the pace for round 2. Nice right jab. Pop, pop, pop.
Even though Sharmba Mitchell took this fight on 2 weeks' notice with Joppy and then Sharifi Holmes out, he says he's always in the gym, ready to go. He feels good. He wants to stay at 140, wants to unify. Talked a little bit about Zab Judah. We saw him on the Tyson Botha card. Said he's good, but not enough experience.
But when he gets it, it's going to be some fight if he fights this guy. I like that Zab Judah. He really impressed me in that fight. He doesn't have enough experience yet, but he's getting it.
Another southpaw, young gun with speed and power.
Right now, Saiz working a little more on getting out of harm's way. He's blocking a lot more shots than he did in the first round. And he's landed a couple of his own, but Sharmba too busy, too active. Saiz loading up with a nice left hand now.
Saiz told us he feels Mitchell is very strong from rounds 1 through 4, but gets weaker after that and doesn't have the ability to knock you out. Well, we'll see.
Come on, let him go.
Mitchell 43-2 at 29 knockout.
Nice overhand left right there by Saiz. Hit Sharmba square in the jaw, shook it off pretty well.
Saiz 23-4 and 3 with 16 knockouts. His first world title fight. Wild swing and a miss there by Saiz, who is not embarrassing himself. He's a tough journeyman. He's been around. He's just been very inactive the last 3 or 4 years. citing promotional problems and difficulty in getting opponents because he's a southpaw. A smacking left hook there by Saiz, but Mitchell showing a good chin.
And coming back with a good punch of his own. I don't think he's being wildly outclassed. He's not in the same class as Sharmba Mitchell. Mitchell's doing what he needs to do to win these rounds and chop him down a little bit.
A beautiful right hook to the body of Sharmba Mitchell, thrown by Saiz, and Sharmba got mad.
Mitchell with a flurry to the head of Saiz, and that backs Saiz up. There's a left hook that got in there. That came out of nowhere. What an angle.
Here, Max. Pero métele tu presión a él, que ese tipo cuando lo buscan hace una mierda. Métele presión, pero tú tienes, trata de buscarlo, moviendo este pecho, ¿sabes? Waving, bloqueate bien un open.
Now let's see what Saiz says. He did get in a couple of good shots, and now you'll see one of them. There it is, right on the jaw. But you see how Sharmba just turned with it and let it go. Bobby, take a look at the second one.
Well, later in the round, Mitchell comes inside and works nice combination. You see under and over shots to the body and to the chin, and follows up, missing a couple on the way out. But throwing punches and bunches, getting the numbers in. Looked a little like the old shoe shine.
Pedro Saiz, former sparring partner for Wilfredo Rivera. Oscar De La Hoya got Oscar ready for Whitaker, plus Felix Trinidad and Junior Jones. Started boxing when he was 14 in his hometown of La Romana, Dominican Republic. Now living in Washington Heights in New York. A lot of movement from the champion, Sharmba Mitchell. The pawing jab looking to set up the left by Sharmba Mitchell.
Pace and slowed down a little bit. Both men relegated to just using the jabs and feelers.
He's doing much better than I anticipated him doing. Much better. It's closer than it looked the first two rounds. But here comes Mitchell.
Sharmba with a quadruple right hook, working to the body into the chin. Had Saiz on his heels, but didn't really hurt him that bad.
Mitchell's punches very accurate. Difficult to counter punch off blows that hit you squarely. You want to counter off a miss. Not fun when you're getting hit. And what makes Mitchell so effective is his quickness as well.
And he moves his head and he's moving his feet. He's doing a beautiful job of boxing. Sharmba Mitchell looking very good.
That quickness, an integral part of boxing. Look at this exchange. And that one sends Saiz back. Quickness often overlooked in the sport, where, let's face it, the object is to hit and not get hit, to get off first.
Sharmba Mitchell just got hit real hard.
He hurt Sharmba
He got hit real hard.
Beautiful right hook to the body. Sharmba Mitchell collapsed.
And he held on.
Well, Sharmba Mitchell looking to avoid a major embarrassment.
Well, that would be one, but boy, he got hit hard.
Here's a low blow by Saiz.
You okay?
The caution by Ken Chevalier.
Let's go. Come on.
Mitchell takes a big deep breath and heads back to the center of the ring. And he's getting tagged repeatedly by the veteran, Pedro Saiz. Oh, Saiz just walked right into one. And that left hook just missed by Mitchell. Mitchell has to be careful, though, somewhat, because he's leaving himself open after he throws. Not a great round for the champion.
He can have him by the head. You're leaning a little too much. You're leaning a little too much, okay? Wait on the
Sharmba Mitchell here on your left. He is a southpaw, as is Saiz. So they hook with the right hands. Sharmba Mitchell comes in, throws hooks to the body, comes with hooks to the head, follows up and throws some more as we roll the tape. He's so sharp with that side. He's educated. There's one to the head. He throws another one to the head. That's 3 to the head, and he's still, I mean, he just one after another. Sometimes you double it up, sometimes you triple it up. He quadrupled it up.
Okay? All right?
Breathe easy, round 4.
Get his head down. Bring him up a couple of Bring his head up. Keep your hands up, though.
Stay there, Pedro. Go back. Go back. Back up. Back up. Back up.
Both guys.
Yeah, comes right out.
Both guys fired at the same time. That was nice.
You got to believe that Saiz believes that after the 4th round, the fight's his, because he's putting all the pressure can on in his first 3-4 rounds to see if he can get Sharmba tired. And as he says, spent. We'll see.
He said that's part of his strategy. The fans watching on television have Mitchell throwing a shutout.
I do the same.
As do I.
Nice right hand by Mitchell.
Saiz is showing an excellent chin. Right hooks are bouncing off his chin, so are the straight and overhand lefts. He is showing a good chin.
And a desire to fight, because he's standing right in front of him. He's not whistling around all over the ring trying to avoid him. He's standing right there looking to get his shot in.
Well, he's got to be earning the respect of the champion, Sharmba Mitchell. Even though Mitchell is ahead convincingly.
I'll tell you, earlier in the 3rd round was very subtle, but he hurt Sharmba to the body with a right hook to the body. It was a good shot, and you could see Sharmba just collapsed a bit on that side, and I think the shot bothered him. But he shook it off and went about his business and went back to work.
But for about 10 seconds there, he was holding on like, let me get my breath back here. Wasn't quite enough.
Those body shots take a lot out of him.
Oh, Saiz with a smacking straight left that nailed Mitchell on the right jaw.
That one landed flush.
Saiz is using a pretty good jab himself. Not as quick, not as educated. As we jokingly say, he's got an educated left hand for unorthodox fighters. Mitchell has an educated right hand.
There's another left hook followed up by a straight right by Saiz, landing with a 1-2 combination. A thumping right hand by Mitchell. And it's got Saiz struggling up against the ropes.
Mitchell leapt, he leapt in with that shot. He bent his legs and jumped in with that right hook. And Saiz took it squarely on the chin.
Another hook right off the chin.
But Saiz a battler.
Yeah, he got off the ropes and now he got himself off the ropes. He fought his way out.
But he's getting nailed in the face. Saiz eating a lot of leather. Taking a lot of punishment here.
Well, maybe a journeyman fighter, but he's certainly a gutsy guy. I don't think that's unfair to call him a journeyman fighter. He is a good fighter. He's not a journeyman fighter. He's an ordinary fighter.
Well, when you look at his ring record, it certainly screams out the word journeyman, but he's giving a good account of himself here.
Certainly is.
He's rising above the expectations.
I certainly didn't expect Sharmba Mitchell to have this much trouble with him here. I thought he'd just walk right through him.
Well, Shamba's funny sometimes. You know, there will be times where he just takes a guy right out, very exciting, and then it takes time for him to get heated up.
Well, that was round 4. Let's see if the prediction comes true.
Here you go, Max. Come here, Pedro.
Sharmba Mitchell likes to use his jab. He sticks it out there pretty quick. 1, 2. As he's stepping forward and closing the gap. And then as he gets Saiz back to the rope, he bends his legs and he steps in. He actually jumps in. You'll see in a moment. He leaps in, frees it there. Now he's going to come in. He's going to step to him. He's going to bend these legs and he's going to cock this right hand and whip a right hook as we let it go. And he's going to whip a right hook in. You'll see him bend all the way down. He bends and he unloads that shot and he lands it clean, but Saiz still there and fighting back. That's the type of shot you're never supposed to get hit with, one that's that obvious.
All right, stay back, Pedro. Get back, get back.
Well, that was loaded up. Now, you illustrated it beautifully because you could see exactly where you drew it is exactly where it went. What a shot.
And round number 5 scheduled for 12 for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship. Saiz ran into some difficulty halfway through round 4 when he was backed up into the ropes, but closed the round still bouncing up on his toes. He's a gamer. There's a straight right hand that got through the gloves of Mitchell by Saiz right on the chin. There's another good straight right. That was blocked. There's a good straight right hand by Saiz. He's landing right on the face of Mitchell. Mitchell looking to come from underneath. Oh, what a smacking straight left by Saiz, and quite a chin by Mitchell.
It looked flashy.
Well, that was flush on the face of Mitchell, and that's angered the champion as he comes back.
Saiz sat on him, waited on him, caught his timing, and landed perfectly.
No, that's a slide. No, that's a slide. Oh, no, he slid on that bumper.
6, 7.
Yeah, I didn't see that as a result of a punch. That
He
was
slid on the bumper.
He stepped on the bumper.
You're right.
His boot was on the bumper. You'll see it if we catch it in replay.
I'm sure.
That's not fair.
That will be quite evident.
It may not make a difference to the outcome of this fight, but that's not good.
Certainly not going to affect the scoring too much.
Nah.
Saiz, as game as he's been, he has not won a round, but it's just unfortunate to have a knockdown put on him.
Oh, that's a hard one.
But surprisingly, Saiz getting through and landing some effective punches. Down he goes again. This time it's not being ruled a knockdown.
Saiz getting frustrated too. He's getting mad. He thinks that they called them both knockdowns.
Beautiful left hook followed up by a flurry by Mitchell. But Saiz able to battle back again. There's a lot of heart.
He really does, and you can see some of those shots really hurt him. The pain in his face, but he's reeling off the ropes, using the ropes as a springboard and firing back.
Sharmba Mitchell is in a serious attack. I mean, that was a serious series of blows.
It's as if a light went off in Mitchell's head, said, hey, what's going on here? Let's get this thing over. What's happening here? Oh, there's another straight left hand that tags Mitchell right on the nose.
Mitchell is moving his head, but still, it looks so good. It looks so flashy.
Watch the kidney shot, says Ken Chevalier to the champion Mitchell. Mitchell's getting frustrated. Good head movement there by Saiz to elude that left hand. Final seconds of round 5.
Sharmba leaping around with those punches. He's got a lot of energy, I'll say that for him.
He is in exquisite condition, as he always is. Saiz going to the wrong corner. Went to the neutral corner.
Let's take a look at that really, really flashy punch out in the middle. Look at that. And see the way that Mitchell turns around makes it even more important. Makes it look like, wow, this guy spun me around. Bobby, let's take a look. Keep your eye on the
call
foot.
this a knockdown, but watch his back foot. It just kind of slips as he gets up against the ropes. He steps on one of the cushions.
Bumpers.
There you see the bumper.
There it is.
He steps on it right there. It's clear. He stepped on his foot, slid out from under him. All he did was put his hands up to protect himself.
All right, let's take a look at the slip. Slip is even worse than that. It's just nothing. I mean, see that? I mean, it's just as if he's pushed down. It's not really a slip. It's a push down the back of the head, which is illegal and which he got warned for. And he's just getting warned right now for kidney shots.
Kenny Chevalier did not see Saiz step on the ring mat and slip at the 110 mark of round 5, a very eventful round. There are only 2 of those kinds of mats which have ads on them.
You know, I wonder in the rule books from the sanctioning bodies that if someone were to slip clearly by a judge and the referee calls a knockdown by accident, if someone addresses it. Not that I want to open up that can of worms.
Let's not. Let's look at this nice little fight we got going here. We thought we were going to have a march to a quick end, and instead we got us a nice little fight going.
You mean you want to add another problem, another bit of controversy to this sport? Round 6. Gutty veteran Pedro Saiz in the white with the purple trim, hanging tough against the champion Sharmba Mitchell, who's winning every round, but every once in a while runs into some trouble. How about the unofficial scorecards at this point?
Basically, I just have a straight shutout.
Yeah, I have the same exactly. 5 points, 50 to 45. That's a straight thing. That last one I was merciful and gave him a 10-9 because I don't believe he was knocked down. I wouldn't give him a 10-8 off.
I did the same thing.
There's a limit to injustice in this world, and we have to correct it here at Showtime.
There you just saw Sharmba Mitchell turn his head without a punch coming, anticipating an overhand left from Saiz. He turned his head off, but the left hand never came.
Straight left hand by Sharmba Mitchell.
That connected all the way down to his feet. He hurt it without.
And he goes down, probably from residual effect there from that previous punch, although he's dragged down.
No. Hey, don't do that.
It's not a knockdown.
Hey, he gave a very nasty sign to the thing.
He just gave us some sign language, and we all know what it meant to the knockdown keeper.
And he's right. I mean, God, I mean, the guy is being forced down, and then he's already counting. Come on. He may not be too energetic there for me.
The best way to beat Sharmba Mitchell is to punch in combinations, but he's so quick. He's good defensively and elusive. It's hard to get inside.
Well, he's going side to side. He's using his legs very, very well, and he's moving his head. And he bombs. He gets it down. He gets it up. He gets it sideways. It's hard to punch Sharmba Mitchell. It's hard.
Basically, one punch won't get it done against Sharmba.
I saw Levander Johnson beat Sharmba, and what a war it was. And Levander had a whole lot that day. I don't believe the ability levels lie anywhere near that for Saiz.
Johnson, Levander, the only person to floor Sharmba Mitchell back in '94.
That was another kidney shot. That's about the third time he's warned him.
Mitchell, as the bell sound. And around 6.
Okay. Get the body and bring it back to the head. You see, take it from that body, you have a problem. Okay. Keep that second with it now. All right, let's go to work. Let's go to work.
Let's take a look at that big uppercut by Mitchell. That's here he comes. Whoa. See, that will get you in trouble every time. He fell back, but Bobby.
Now we're going to see those kidney punches, hip punches, the things that he's getting warned for. He's coming all the way around. That was almost on his rear end. That was a big backside shot.
But, you know, Bobby, both of them were moving in that direction. It's not like you intentionally punched there. One guy going one way, the other guy spinning the other.
Get back, Pedro.
Get back, Pedro.
He's eager. Boy, a lot of folks probably wondering how this fight got this far. Round 7. Mitchell has not even been close to being on the canvas. Saiz down once at the 110 mark of round 5, which was actually a slip.
I'm surprised through some of the punishment that he hasn't hit the deck.
Yes, because he has been, another one. He has been hammered very, very well and has taken it well. Saiz has.
If you watch closely, Sharmba Mitchell turns his head with those punches a lot too, just to lessen the severity of it.
Combination by Mitchell. The left hand got through. There's the online scoring. Similar to what Ferdy and Bobby have. Mitchell up 5-1.
Somebody gave Saiz a round, though. I mean, he did better in one of the rounds than some of the others.
It was round 4, apparently.
I didn't think he did enough to win it, clearly.
Mitchell has that look of exasperation and frustration on his face.
Well, if he wanted to show his friends that he was flashing, he...
Low blow, down he goes.
Oh, wow.
That was a hard shot.
Now, that's a thundering shot. Oh, boy, this is going to be problems.
Well, here's the story now. A fighter hit below the belt and can't continue within 5 minutes. He loses. He's got 5 minutes and counting.
Okay, and then you got to suck it up and come on back.
Chevalier is explaining that to him.
He said, you've got 5 minutes and you have to suck it up and come on back. I would have said, call me at 4.5.
I would have wake up at 4:50.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a shot he took.
See, because the guy, the most natural thing is the ability to want to come back and fight, and he starts before. So he should take the full 5. Take
5 minutes.
Take your time. Tell him how much is left. Oh, man, he is in pain.
Way south of the border. And Mitchell just trying to shake it off. Even with the cup.
You want the stool or
nothing
what?
doing.
Now, there are a lot of times when you get hit directly in the cup, will cushion it such that the blow is almost meaningless. And there are other times that you could get pinched the wrong way that it'd be impossible to even stand up and speak. Those punches can be deadly.
Stay back there. I got to take a point. Get back.
Oh, is he
stay there.
upset? Did you see that? Look, he just gave Saiz.
Low blow, 1 point. Low blow,
He says to his corner, he's all right.
Low blow,
Looks over at Jeff Germosia.
You ready?
And Marvin Sims.
Get back.
He didn't need the full 5 minutes to recover.
5.
And he wants to get at Saiz. And end this thing now with 1:45 remaining. And the crowd into it.
Wow, look at the attack he is mounting.
I'll tell you what, he's upset, but he shouldn't make a mistake here. He'll be over anxious to make a point and walk into a wild shot.
This is just plain old vengeance. He was down 1:20 as a result of the low blow, and he comes back furiously.
And Saiz took it well.
But back comes Saiz with a gripping right hook there.
Saiz took a lot of thundering shots right on his head, and he took it well. Boy, what a chin on Saiz.
A lot of heart and a good chin.
I guess he got that out of his system, and now he goes back to box. I mean, you know, you don't want to get run out of gas here.
And every once in a while, he opens himself up to a shot from Saiz. He's being careless. Sharmba Mitchell in the frills. This is not a no-frills fighter. Here's
that always looks good when the fighters do that, but to me, that's just wasting a lot of energy, not being very effective.
That's shades of Willie Pastrana. Only Willie did it because he was scared. he could pop off that jumping around like that and get points. Willie Pastrana is a very, very fine defensive fighter.
Perhaps Mitchell really overdoing it here. He wants to entertain the fans, showcase his quickness, his speed, and power.
Here he's switching. Now he's orthodox.
Yes, he is. He said he'd do this. He did this against Rahilu when he won the title.
Oh.
Another low blow by Saiz. That time they let it go.
You got to watch him. The low blow.
Right here. Well, faded and throw the left hand. Faded, throw the left hand, okay?
All right, let's take a view of that crunching blow that landed. And look at that. That's as low, as hard, and as devastating a punch as you can get that low. That is a disaster.
Another look at it. Whenever the blow comes up, it hits the cup and it's on its way up. You know there's a whole lot of trouble. That is on its way up. That is an uppercut gone astray. And I'm sure Sharmba felt that and will remember that one. And tomorrow it's going to hurt some more.
Throw the jab,
You would know.
Back, Sharmba.
Mitchell now looking to escape the corner early. He wants to get at Saiz.
You got to keep him up. You got 1 point, he'll give you another one.
That's the voice of Kenny Chevalier, the third man of the ring, warning Saiz. Saiz doesn't speak much English, but he does speak boxing.
I got a pretty good understanding that he understood that.
Yeah. Saiz may have been retaliating the shots on the hip, maybe intentional.
I don't think so. I don't think that kind of punch is just slips. I mean, I don't think anybody throws that kind of, unless you're back to the days of the 30s or 40s where you did it intentional. Or you're non-compass menace like Andrew Galata, who does crazy things, but this is not that kind of thing.
Well, we don't really know. First time we're seeing him. Oh, there's a straight left hand right on the jaw by Saiz.
Saiz showed a nice double jab before that, rocked on one of Sharmba's shots and fired a nice straight left hand over the jab. Still punching pretty crisply.
But it's one and done for Saiz, and that's not going to get the job done against Mitchell.
That's the problem. He's only thrown 1, 1, 2, never really 3, 4, and 5. He needs to throw 2, follow up with 2, 3 more, and follow up again.
The problem is, a lot of that problem is Sharmba. He's not there. He's gone. When you gonged him once, he's already moving. See, look how he moves. As soon as that punch starts, he's on his horse. Oh, nice right hand. Oh, what's that? Left hand. Nice left.
His other right.
He turned around on me.
Past the midway point of round 8. Saiz with a right uppercut. Saiz says this is where Mitchell gets tired and weakens and cannot score the knockout.
Yeah, but how much abuse he's taken over the first 7 might dictate what he has or has not got left in his tank as well.
Mitchell's 2 losses in consecutive fashion in '94 to Levander Johnson and Stevie Johnston. He probably would have gotten his first title shot back then, except for those 2 losses against quality opponents.
Mitchell's a quality fighter who's really had to wait a long time, and I'm sure he's ready to take this through and not fade in the later rounds.
Early in his career, matched up with crafty veterans and experienced pros, perhaps somewhat faded in some cases, but got a lot of rounds in. Learned to go the distance, picked up some tricks. He's been brought along very well. A lot of experience. He's just 28. On the title, his first world title shot. Convincing unanimous decision over Khalid Rahilu in Rahilu's backyard, France. Final seconds, round 8. Mitchell landing with a combination. But this kid Saiz just stands right in there and continues to show tremendous courage.
Gotta pick it up. You let him hang around here, okay? You let him hang around.
Blood coming from the left eye, I believe, is Saiz. But we're in the hometown area of the champion Sharmba Mitchell at the Washington Convention Center.
Come here. Give me your face.
Around you call me.
All right.
Left diamond's have a nick on it. Certainly got a swelling. He's been gone plenty on that eye. They just said to him, "You're losing. Pick it up. You're losing. Pick it up."
Now, how in the world does that help a fighter? Why don't you tell him what to do?
That's virtually no instruction. I think they've run out of conversation. I mean, what else are you going to tell this guy to do now?
I think his corner's probably also realistic that telling him to pick it up is basically telling him to do whatever he has to try and win. They realize the skills and the skill level are different.
Yep. There's nothing you can, once you're outclassed like this, there's nothing you can really say. He's going to be in here for the beating for the whole way, unless he gets lucky.
Well, meanwhile, Saiz landing with a straight left hand to the head of Mitchell. A cut was open under Saiz's left eye in round number 8. You saw the blood. But that's not going to stop this kid. Boy, not showing the effects of the inactivity, but there's a combination to the head by Mitchell. Talking about Saiz earlier. Hanging tough against the champ.
Saiz doesn't waste a ton of energy. Comes in, doesn't make too many big moves, doesn't bounce around, jump around. Pretty efficient with his energy, but just doesn't throw quite enough punches to be effective against a guy like Mitchell.
I think Mitchell came in a little too over-anxious here tonight to do his thing in front of his hometown crowd. Perhaps that has held him back somewhat. Also, as we pointed out earlier, the distractions of being at home. You sometimes let down after you win the title, no matter who you're fighting.
And put all that together and add Saiz's name at the end of that whole
just going to say paragraph. And a tough game competitor in Saiz.
He's hanging in here and he's not going away.
Smacking right half hook, half uppercut by Saiz to the chin of Mitchell.
Saiz walked into a straight left hand and got rocked.
And he's back on the ropes now. Not a good place to be.
Once again, you saw Mitchell do that sort of diving into him with the right hook uppercut combination.
What if Mitchell has resigned in his mind that, hey, this is going 12 rounds. Oh, look Saiz. It's unsportsmanlike conduct. Sharmba Mitchell comes around and hooks Saiz after Saiz walked away.
Did he get thumbed in the eye? He must have got thumbed in there.
You know, quite honestly, he's got to protect himself at all times. He's not allowed to turn and walk away from a fighter.
Here's the doctor.
You can fight. Hey, a little more sportsmanship than that, okay? I understand that. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go.
Dr. William Strudnick saying he can fight, and you heard Kenny Chevalier issue that sportsmanship warning to Mitchell.
He was right. A little bit more sportsmanship than that.
Vicious set of right hooks by Sharmba and Mitchell. I think what happened was Saiz got punched in the eye, and maybe his eyelash is going, he couldn't see, but you can't just turn and walk away from a fighter. The fight's either over or he's allowed to hit you.
Yeah, man.
Now look, you're throwing everything to the wind, Pedro. You're throwing it all to the wind. Now you better get in there and take this guy out. You're too far behind on rounds. You understand me?
Ha perdido la pelea de calle. Tú no me ganas por nocaut. Por nocaut no me tú ganas la pelea. Tengo una pelea por nocaut la va a perder. Okay?
All right, let's watch Mitchell's right hand. Keep your eye on Mitchell's right hand. Nothing. What did you see?
Scrape.
He hit him with the inside of his hook. He tried.
It was not a punch. It was like it scraped the hook of the laces.
The hook didn't come all the way clean. He kind of hit him with the laces, but it's still technically not an illegal shot because he didn't lace him. But you can't just turn around and walk away like that.
Bobby, I understand what you're saying earlier. You're a fighter. You know, it's instinctive. But I didn't like what he did just now.
You know, I know you didn't like what he did, Steve, but, you know, just like you're playing golf, it's a luck of the rub. Look at wherever the ball falls. It's just too bad the punch landed in his eye.
Meanwhile, a very angry Saiz comes back with a fury here.
Well, in the corner, they said that you're losing this every round, and you got to get a knockout, and might as well go for it. We're here. Go for everything.
Well, they're right about that.
So they sent him out to do or die here. That's what they've done.
So he is a warrior-type fighter. There's no question.
He's come out to take his shot.
He said he wanted to wait to those last rounds and go after him because he didn't think Sharmba can fight in the last round.
He's taking wild swings. He's going to leave himself open, and Mitchell's going to take advantage if he's...
Hit Mitchell with a real solid left hand there.
He got him there.
Saiz does appear to be a little physically stronger at this pace, I assume at this point.
Oh, straight right hand by Mitchell. Good counterpunch. Nice talking to Saiz. Saiz issues a left that missed. Back comes another counterpunch. Straight right hand by Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell's pummeling him.
Good shots by Mitchell. Strong, good shots by Mitchell.
Missing with the right hook, Mitchell.
You can almost see in Mitchell's eyes there he's looking to time Saiz on the way in with that right hook. Bring it up from his hip and just turn it in. But he's not been real effective with it in this round.
Oh, straight left hand right on the right jaw of Mitchell by Saiz. And Mitchell really showing a heck of a chin.
But there's not that much steam anymore to Saiz's punches. Not that much. It was. At the beginning of this round, he was singling him. Right then, it was a pillow punch.
Come on, fellas. Come on now.
I felt it.
Come on. Enough of that. Let's go.
Mitchell looking to set up the straight left hand with the right jab, but missing.
Sometimes Mitchell takes a little bit off his shots by being a little too much on his toes and not a little more flat-footed when he's swinging. Always on the move, takes a little off the power.
Mitchell just spinning Saiz around. Beautiful block of a punch by Mitchell. That was great defense, and he comes back.
He hurt Saiz with a left hook to the body.
Saiz nearly buckled to the canvas there.
He's hurt to the body. He is hurt to the body.
The ropes just kept him up.
He keeps touching his protectors if he's hurt there. You see?
Yep.
See how he does it?
They'll make it through round 10, though. Oh, a straight left hand by Saiz just before the bell. Right on the face of Mitchell.
shots on you.
Watch the body work on Mitchell as he drives him in the rope. See, he doesn't pardon anything. Goes right to the body, and that's bothering. So look at the way he kicked up his leg. That's bothering him a great deal. Something is bothering him in the left lower quadrant.
And they're around two nice exchanges of left hands. First Mitchell, and he was countered by the same. No ran left by Saiz.
The left lower quadrant.
That's it, right back into the emergency room.
Pedro Saiz, while not winning many rounds, is looking pretty good for someone who accepted the fight on short notice.
Look how high they tilted his cup on that side where he got hit. Now that cup is tilted. The other side has to be a whole lot lower.
His cup runneth over. And this is a championship fight, no less.
And in his corner, Shambay's people said he keep hitting him to the stomach. He doesn't like it there. To which Joe Louis used to say, "Who do?"
Left hook there by Saiz. A little showboating right there with the left. This is Saiz's first title bout. Curiously, he has won only one of his last 4 fights. But he certainly is not intimidated by the hometown champion, Sharmba Mitchell.
His stock goes up after this performance. He's fought a good, hard, tough, gritty fight for the entire 11 rounds so far.
His stock is up is right, Bobby. He's in a championship fight with a very good champion, and he's held up his head. See how he's holding up? Something's bothering him over there.
Not only that, but you know, styles make fights too. Sharmba, much like Saiz, is a shorter, squatter guy. Not real beautiful shots by Saiz. He's not a long, rangy guy, as was Forrest. Forrest could keep him at bay, hammer him, and not get hit. Sharmba, when he hits him, is also in range.
Well, this has certainly turned out to be more than just an exhibition, as I said it would be before the fight started.
Sharmba with a little mouse under his right eye, you can see.
Well, he's going to feel the effects of this one later tonight and on into the days to come. He has taken some pretty heavy leather from unheralded, relatively unknown Pedro Saiz. And Saiz continues to hold up the cup.
I would really like to know what's bothering him there.
Probably out of place and very uncomfortable, moving around in there. Not good when you have other things to worry about, right? Instead of just a fighter in front of you.
The 10 rounds and change under their belts already, starting to catch up with both of them just a little bit.
Slowing down slightly. Understandable. You heard Mitchell say, well, he's ducking. That's why.
He's ducking because you got your arms on the back of his head. That's why he's ducking.
There's always a reason.
Well, believe it or not, gentlemen, it's legal to hit him on top of the head, just not behind the head.
The old rabbit punch.
Well, what he's talking about here, though, is not a punch. It's just leaning on the back of his head like Al.
Pulling him down.
Pulling him down.
This is the 12th round now.
Act like a champion. Act like a champion.
Last round, I want you to touch gloves.
Use your leg. Use your leg. Don't worry about knocking the guy out, man. Just use your leg. Use your leg. Presión, Pedro. Vamos.
Hey, come here. Ain't even right. Come here.
Now look. You understand? You get in there and you throw everything you got. Don't waste time.
Lopez approaching the 12th and final round of this bout. Let's cheer him on as they enter the center of the ring for round 12.
Well, this is something we never expected. Round 12. And I'll tell you what, the crowd has not really been a factor here tonight. It's a crowd that Sharmba Mitchell told us was going to turn out and support him. And I'm somewhat surprised. Round 12, the last round for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship. Of course, Saiz needs a spectacular finish here, a knockout, to win the fight.
Nothing short of a knockout. I mean, you can knock the guy down 10 times. It's not going to work with the score.
Nothing but a knockout will do. And it doesn't look like you can buy one in all of Washington, D.C.
But we must give him credit for hanging in there this long against the champion, Sharmba Mitchell. Good quality fighter.
It's not just that he hung in, Steve. He fired some great shots, some overhand lefts, some right hooks to the body. He landed well on Sharmba, and you never could tell if he had more power. The results could be a little different.
And the other thing is he made Sharmba Mitchell fight. He made him fight his 100% fight. He didn't come in there and phone this in. He had to go all out to beat this guy. He fought hard. He's beating him, but he made him do it.
Mitchell, whatever reason, perhaps underestimating Saiz, looking ahead. Combination to the head, to the chin of Saiz. He's rock solid there.
I really don't think that Sharmba Mitchell underestimated Saiz. I think he trained. I think he did what he had to do. I think that styles make fights, and these styles match up to be a war 10 times out of 10.
So you chalk it up to the fact that Saiz may have been a little awkward for Mitchell.
Very awkward, and not only that, with a pretty good chin, because that was a great shot he just took.
Two shots. Two great shots.
Oh, there he goes. He's rocked there. Saiz says, all right, I'm okay.
With a little makeshift Ali shuffle.
Under a minute remaining, round 12. And Saiz is paying a price now. Mitchell has 29 knockouts in his 43 wins.
Oh.
Little head thump.
They head thumped, and Mitchell just landed a resounding body shot right where the guy hurts.
Mitchell wants to finish this guy. I know he does. He's doing a smart thing. Boxing, moving, using his legs, not putting himself in harm's way. It's 11-zip. 10-1 if you're giving a round to Saiz, and there's no way he can lose a decision. Doesn't need to knock the man out.
Final seconds in the final round.
Come on, fellas.
Sharmba Mitchell, at least from this vantage point, firing a shutout, but he did have some anxious moments. And that is it. Not an overwhelming reaction from this crowd for Sharmba Mitchell, who probably came in thinking that he was going to dispose of Pedro Saiz in the first or second round. But Saiz had other ideas.
We have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Hank Mayer, scores about 115 to 112. Judge Hubert Earl scores about 119 to 107. And judge at ringside, Paul Artiste, scores about 120 to 105. All three in favor of the winner. And still, WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the World, the little big man, Sharmba Mitchell.
Did he say 115, 112?
One guy was 115, 112. The other two were the same as me, 120 to 107.
Ooh, man.
Now there's a reason a judge should definitely be investigated.
Unbelievable. So Sharmba Mitchell makes his first defense of the WBA Super Lightweight title, but this not what he had in mind. It wasn't convincing, that's for sure.